Let me just start off this video by asking y'all, how many times has somebody told you that this is the worst 2K they have ever played this year? And how many people have said that last year and the year before and the year before? It happens every single game. So is 2K25 actually the worst 2K ever, or are people just capping because they like to be negative? Well, I'm not gonna lie, unfortunately, there is some truth to 2K25 being one of the worst 2Ks ever. Now, do I think it is the worst game? Absolutely not, because 2K25 has done a lot of things correct, if I'm being completely honest, and if you guys want to disagree with that, that is completely fine. But I think it goes without saying that the rep system, for one, is absolutely amazing this year. There is so much to play for. I mean, getting 15 cap breakers just for hitting, starter 3, vet 2, and legend 1. And even past that, there's still reason to grind the game, because if you're in the top 10, you get 4 extra +1s, which further allows you to make demigod builds. You have all those cap breakers, the extra +1s. It's absolutely amazing. And that's not even mentioning the other rewards like 10 million VC, a free copy of 2K, which we have had in the past, but we've never had that much VC. Unlimited Gatorade boosts, unlimited skill boosts. I mean, you got other cool things like the metallic body mods, the discount at the stores, which admittedly that doesn't even work from what I've seen unless they fixed it. But overall, the rewards have been very, very good overall this year. So that kind of begs the question, what in the world is making this game so awful? And why are people not really playing it as much? Why are people only playing a couple of games a day and getting off? Why are people not having as good of a time as they probably should be? I think by far the most obvious reason is that people just aren't enjoying the gameplay of 2K25. Because if you guys remember, a big part of 2K's selling point this year was that it was the most realistic basketball game we've ever had. But if you've been playing 2K25 this year, you would know that only some aspects of the game are realistic, and then other aspects make absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I think that's been a big turnoff for a lot of people, because you got things like the shooting being RNG, where if you green a few shots in a row, you're basically guaranteed to miss the next one, just because it's supposed to be more realistic. And obviously, people in real life are not shooting, 60% from 3. Curry shoots like 45 in his best season, which is still really good, but we're playing a video game. We don't want to be handicapped to what is realistic and what's not. And even then, if you do want to go for a hyper-realistic approach, which by the way, that is just by default going to make the game worse, because that's not what most people want. But even if you do go for that approach, you have to make everything realistic. And I can't emphasize that enough, because in this game, we have things like, I guess the shooting, if you want to argue that's realistic, fine, right? And I mean, especially with the contest system, you can shoot over people if you're tall, which is realistic, makes sense. But on the flip side of that, you have ankle breakers that are dropping people on their ass off of a simple snatchback move. That is the most unrealistic shit ever. Like, the amount of times people actually fall over, for anybody who plays basketball in real life, you would know that ankle breakers, especially ones like that, are very rare. They do not happen very often at all. But in this game, if you make a build of like Hall of Fame ankle assassin, you got people touching earth, doing backflips, hitting yoga poses mid-game. That is not realistic at all. I don't know how that made it into a realistic basketball game when you just don't see shit like that. Like, in my honest opinion, you have to make a choice between what type of game you want, because if you try to do both, I mean, what's going to happen is you're going to fail to do both. You can't have both an arcade and a realistic basketball game at the same time. It's not a thing that's like really possible to do. And I think the majority of people would like to go back to more arcadey games like 2K15, 2K16, 2K17, those older 2Ks where people were really, really enjoying the game. That is what we enjoyed playing, especially like the way characters moved. Like, the more realistic we get, 2K has just, I don't know if you guys have felt this as well, but it feels like you have less control over your player, especially like on defense. Like, you'll try to like turn around to guard like a back cut, but suddenly your player is like stuck in quicksand for no reason. It feels absolutely awful. Oh yeah, and it just hit me. You know what else feels awful in this game? Dribble styles. This had to be one of the worst additions to 2K ever, Because if you are sitting there in the player builder this year, and let's say you want to make like a taller build that's able to dribble, right? You want to make like a 6'7" or a 6'8" guard. You want to make like a LaMelo Ball type of build. Good luck. Because when you go past, 6'7", you literally cannot move in this game. The dribble styles for taller builds are so unequivocally dog shit. Like, it is mind-blowing. And don't get me wrong, I know we've had dribble styles in the past, but this year they just feel even worse because only certain dribble styles actually allow you to move in both directions. Like, take the best dribble style in the game for guards, for example, Darius Garland. Darius Garland has a horrible cross launch. That's why you see every guard, they put it to their ball hand and they speed boost to their ball hand. Because if you go to the opposite way, your character does a stumble animation, you get stuck, you have to take 3 steps before you can run. It makes no sense because in real life, Darius Garland is not like, oh man, I can't explode to my left-hand side because if I do that, I get stuck in an animation. That's just not realistic at all whatsoever. And if you want to talk about dribble styles on taller builds, like I was saying, if you make a tall build, you have to use Zion Williamson's dribble style. And that dribble style has the opposite problem Garland has. If you dribble to your ball hand side, you do that stumble animation where you have to take 4 steps and then you can explode. But if you go to your offhand side, you can explode instantly. It makes no sense and it feels horrible. I don't know about you guys, I've played basketball my whole life. I've always played point guard. I have never had a problem dribbling to my offhand side, especially these guys are supposed to be NBA players. There is no way you're telling me that Darius Garland can't go to his left or Kevin Durant can't go to his right. It makes no sense at all. Oh yeah, you want to know another thing that makes no sense in this game? The height caps for badges. When you are making a build in this game, if you want on-ball menace, you have to be 6'9" or below. Yet, there are characters in this game, like Giannis, who literally have that badge at 7 feet tall. Or Jaden McDaniels, who is 6'10", has that badge. There are so many players who are just breaking the rules for these badges, yet we can't have them on our character. And you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, well, isn't that for the sake of balance in the game? Well, here's the thing, right? It doesn't seem very realistic, does it? If actual players can have those badges, why can I not have it in this game, which is supposed to be realistic? It's supposed to be the most realistic basketball game. It's not supposed to be arcadey, therefore it's not supposed to have balancing like that, right? In my opinion, that's another very big issue when you advertise a realistic basketball game, when you can't even do things actual players can do in real life. And you know what? Just to further emphasize what I'm talking about, let's go over to the builder real quick, and I want to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about that is so unrealistic with this game, right? Let's say I am trying to make a build let's just say Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? Because this is a build I made recently. I tried to make my best rendition of Giannis I could, right? You look at the attributes I can get. If I want to be fast, I can only have a 73 strength. Whatever, I get it. You have to sacrifice something. However, there are things I literally just cannot get if I make Giannis is 6'11", 7'3" wingspan, for example, right? He has a 90 mid-range in the base game. I can't even get that at this height. He has an 87 perim. I can only get a 77, right? I believe he has 73 or 70 steal. I can barely get that, right? But 87 ball handle, can't get it at all. Speed with ball, I believe he has an 84, can't get it, right? I can't get any of these things. Driving layup, Giannis has a 98 in the actual game. That is impossible to get with his exact build. I don't understand how this is a realistic game, but I can't even make a real build. You know what's also hilarious? I want to go back to that dribble style thing I was talking about a second ago. I'm going to use Kevin Durant real quick. I want to show y'all how bad his explosive move in this game is. So if I go to his offhand, look how slow that is. I have to take a dribble backwards and then I can run forward, right? That is getting locked up every single time. If I want to explode to my my ball hand, watch this. What is that, bro? Why am I stuck in a pile of dog shit before I can actually explode to the basket? Show me one clip of Kevin Durant doing this in real life. He hitting a hoobah-ha after just dribbling and trying to explode. What is that, man? Same with LeBron. I'm going to show y'all me trying to explode with both hands, right? Right here. What is that? I gotta do I had to hop up, do some dance moves and shit before I can actually explode to the hoop. LeBron probably did this like once IRL, and then 2K was like, all right, so now he's just not going to be able to dribble with his right hand in this game. It makes no sense. And then same thing for the other hand. Watch this. I mean, that's actually not horrible, if I'm being completely honest. It's not as bad as I thought. But even then, why do I got to take a step backwards before I'm able to actually explode? It's the stupidest shit ever. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've said everything I wanted to really say about how I feel about the game. I think, you know, it is one of the biggest waste of potential 2Ks we've had in a very long time. They did so many things right, but when you get the gameplay wrong, it just doesn't matter. Like, the rep system, beautiful. I mean, the rewards, beautiful. So goddamn good, man. There's so much motivation to play the game if the game was actually good. But of course, you know, that was the one thing they just had to ruin. And I'm not even trolling or joking around by what I'm saying. Like, if this game had good gameplay with everything else it already has, this would be one of the best 2Ks I've ever played. And I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you guys. It would be up there with games like, you know, 2K16, for example, or 2K17, which 2K17 might not have been the best game overall, but everybody was having fun in that game because it was a very arcadey experience, which people loved. This game, I mean, listen, I know they can't really adjust, you know, the core gameplay mechanics at this point of the year. They're already working on, you know, 2K26, completely fine, but 2K, if anybody at y'all company somehow stumbles across this video, please do not make the same mistake of trying to make this like hybrid game between realistic and like arcade. It's horrible. It is genuinely awful. Nobody wants it. Either pick one or the other. I mean, hopefully pick more of an arcade style. That's what people want. But even if you do make the game realistic, keep it consistent. We don't want to see things that are realistic and then other things that make no sense. It's not fun for the game, and it's just a miserable experience overall. But once again, as for the rep system, keep that shit the same. It is absolutely amazing. I want to see something like this every year. I don't want to see a car or a bird as a legend reward ever again. That shit was a 2-pack of ass, respectfully. Anyways, though, if you guys did end up enjoying the video, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like and a comment letting me know what you thought. And if you are new around here, it never hurts to hit that subscribe button. Anyways, it's been Grav. Peace.